A bill that would eliminate the religious exemption for vaccination required for schools in New Jersey in the spotlight tonight. With protesters gathering in Trenton on Thursday and protests planned for Monday, asking lawmakers to kill the measure. If it passes, parents would no longer be able to opt out of their vaccines for their children for religious reasons. They came with signs and bullhorns, many of them parents with children in tow. I caught up with Kaylin Lorenz, who was among the protesters. She told me why this issue is so important to her.
Well, there's nothing more important to a mother than her children. So I would say this is probably the most important thing that's happening right now. This isn't about school. There are ways that we can teach our children without having to go to public school. This is about mandating a product that has a risk to it. And where there's a risk, there should be consent.
I also caught up with Senator Declan O Scanlon, who, as of a few weeks ago, was a no vote, but now he's been convinced as the bill has been adjusted.
The original bill was dramatically sweeping in its scope. The original bill, and I met with some folks who are against vaccines, who said to me, several of them, look, let's concede that our kids might pose a risk to even the vaccinated in public institutions. How dare you stop me from sending my kid to daycare or private school or create my own options for my child's education if I choose not to vaccinate? For me, that made sense.
All right, let's bring in tonight's A-plus panel. All right, Lisa, I want to start with you on this.
Yes.
What really gets me about this, and I'm a pro-vaccine parent, what gets me about this bill and why I think it's bad is that they're now going to exempt private schools. So that means people who can't afford to send their kids to private schools are going to be subjected to a mandate that the folks with money are not going to be. How's that fair?
What they're doing as usual is they give the rich and powerful options, and they take away these options from the poor because they know that the rich and powerful aren't going to stand for it. Listen, I went back to school this year and I was forced to take a measles vaccination. I literally got sick 5 minutes later. So for children, I'm like 185 pounds. Imagine a child 60 pounds having to take this vaccination by force. It's a problem.
So Bob, my kids are vaccinated, I'm vaccinated, I have no issue with vaccinations, but there is a legitimate concern. There's a fund federally that's paid out more than $4 billion to families who have had vaccine injured kids.
Yes.
But again, I'm stuck on this exemption for private schools. If the science is so-called settled, then why wouldn't they apply it to everybody?
Yep.
Yeah, it seems like an anomaly. It's almost like saying, we believe that the science says that this is necessary for the health, safety, and welfare of the children, but you can go to private school and you can infect those kids. No, but I'll tell you something, Bill. I just want to say something anecdotally. I'm not a professional. I haven't really followed the issue, but I have never received more phone calls from irate, typically mothers, some of whom are friends of mine, that are apoplectic about what has gone on in Trenton and feeling their voices haven't been heard. I mean, apoplectic, and nonstop texts and things of that nature. This has really struck a chord with those folks.
I think you're right. I think lots going to happen.
And it shouldn't just be about
We'll follow
religion.
up on Monday as the vote is expected.